Namaste, everyone. Welcome to Yin and Restorative Yoga. Um, we had requests today physically to help open up the chest, which looks like shoulders in extension, and the lower back. So we'll warm up with some gentle movements, and then we'll get into that and the whole body, of course. So make sure that you have a couple of blocks, a strap, a bolster, and a blanket. And let's begin in any comfortable seat of your choice. Take a moment to set yourself up so that you can feel grounded where you're sitting, tall in your spine so energy and breath can flow easily, and mentally arrive. Set aside anything that can distract you, like your phone, and give yourself this hour and 5 minutes to truly be with yourself. So you might remember that in the 8 Limbs of Yoga by the sage Patanjali in the Yoga Sutras, one of the practices is called dharana, which means concentration, steadying your focus on one object that you choose over and over again when the mind wanders, coming back. And when we do that for such a prolonged period of time where the effort, or it becomes effortless to have that steady awareness, and we're relaxed in that steady awareness so much that the object that we're focused on absorbs us. We are absorbed in it. That is a state of meditation called dhyana, which is the next limb of yoga. And I love how this book explains going into that process, and highly recommend it. It's called The Relaxed Mind, a 7-step method for deepening meditation practice. And while the author, Zaki Lung Rinpoche, draws from the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, he's a monk, the practices themselves are synonymous with the practices that I'm talking about from the Yoga Sutras. He says, like a wild horse, our minds harbor fear of the unfamiliar and can sometimes be easily frightened. We are not naturally open to focusing deeply. Unable to focus, we cannot penetrate things deeply, whether they are of our inner minds or the outside world. We remain on the surface, a place we have become used to and comfortable with. The meditation of calm abiding, and quickly, calm abiding is where you choose an object to focus on, such as the breath, and you rest your awareness there over and over again. So it's that practice of dharana. Of calm abiding begins the training to change those tendencies. A well-trained horse first becomes comfortable with humans and then develops friendships. If someone visits, it expects to receive a gift, maybe something sweet. The horse feels safe and happy and doesn't even need to be fenced in anymore. The relaxed focus we gain from calm abiding meditation likewise brings us happiness and freedom. When we are undistracted and completely resting, this is our true nature. And I believe the whole point of yoga is to uncover our true nature, which can get covered up by all the things that we are tending to outside of ourselves. And so here is the practice of peeling those layers, letting them dissolve, and being in the presence of that relaxed presence that is deep within us. And we'll talk a little bit, I'll read a little bit more before we enter meditation, but keep that in mind, as that's what we're doing here with the physical body as we move, stretch, practice being still, connect to the breath. We're peeling the layers. We're getting deeper and deeper into that true nature. So let's start by checking in with what you're bringing into your practice today. As you find a relative stillness in your body, you might close your eyes. I invite you to begin scanning your physical body, noticing any sensations without judging them. What's calling your attention the most right now in your body? How is your body asking you to respond to that through this practice? Start to feel the waves of breath without controlling or changing how you're breathing. What do you notice about your breathing? How is this letting you know about how you're feeling energetically? I invite you to meet yourself exactly where you're at in these layers that you're observing. Now tune into your heart mind, what's present for you mentally and emotionally. Just accepting it as it is, holding space for whatever it is. Let's start to slow the breath down, filling up the lungs, filling up the belly, maybe sitting a little bit taller. You might even audibly sigh through the mouth. Feel the very bottom of the exhalation emptied, and breathe in a little fuller. Notice if you can feel the four walls of your rib cage stretch. Feel the very top of the inhalation. Notice that fullness. And then take your time to arrive again at the next emptiness. Being present with the transitions of the in and out breaths. I invite you to call to mind anything right now that you could be grateful for. You might think of all the different components that had to come together for you to be able to sit here now, beginning your yoga practice today. Did you drive from somewhere? You might remember those who have shared the teachings of yoga, all that make it possible for you to be enjoying this practice right now. Your breath, your body, this community. And then start to clarify what you are choosing to focus on. What is your object of focus for today's practice? Something that you would like to expand, to cultivate and strengthen. Is it a quality about yourself? Is it a general quality or experience or something specific in any aspect of your life? Now, remember that our practice is not only for the benefit of us here, it's for all beings everywhere as we work on ourselves internally and in our physical bodies. We hope to spread that love and care in the world around us. And so I invite you to choose someone or something that you would like to offer up your practice to today, something bigger than yourself. And with that, let's join our voices in support of each other by chanting the sacred sound of Om 3 times. Breathing in, feel the very top of the in-breath. Take your time, closing the lips, breathing out. Try to exhale just as slowly as the in-breath. Now, as you continue to breathe slowly in, slowly out, balanced, begin to softly narrow the back of your throat so that you can create a subtle, gentle, and smooth whispering sound to your breath. The sound, as you rest your attention on it while we're moving the body from pose to pose or holding an asana, can serve as a way to bridge your awareness to the present moment. Anytime your mind wanders, find the sound again. Regulate your breath again. Help to balance your energy as you're approaching postures. So as you continue that Ujjayi breathing, I'll invite you to come down onto all fours, hands and knees. And let's begin to move the spine and open up the shoulders in cat-cow. Spread your fingers wide and flat at the top of your mat and stack your shoulders on top of your wrists. Step your knees a couple of inches behind your hips and connect movement to breath. So as you breathe in, glide your chest forward, roll your shoulders back and down, and look up, cow pose. As you breathe out, contract your abdomen, dropping the tailbone and your head round the back in cat pose. Again, inhale, reach the chest forward, roll the shoulders behind you, gazing up. Exhale, lift the belly towards the spine, drop your head to round. Now keep going several more cycles of breath here in Vidalasana, cat-cow pose. And if there's any direction that your body needs to move differently, feel free to explore. Listen to your body throughout this practice, of course, and notice if your body's asking for a different variation of a posture. Knowing that you can also opt out of a posture if it's not appropriate for your body at this time. You know your body the most, so make sure you're listening to it. As you spread the thumbs flat towards each other and stretch your index fingers forward or slightly turn them out. Tuck your toes behind you, feet hips distance apart. And at the bottom of your next exhalation, lift your hips high and press the fronts of your thighs back. Press your chest towards your shins and start to bend one knee. Press the opposite heel into the ground. Bend the opposite knee. Press the other heel to the ground. And continue to walk in place slowly to the breath. Pay attention. As you're going really slow, we're not rushing through anything here. What can you feel in the backs of your legs? Do you notice anything different in the left side or in the right side? Noticing without judging. Now let's bend the knees and pull your hips further back, like someone standing behind your mat, pulling your pelvis against the back wall and ceiling. Now you can bend the knees or start to straighten the legs. Engage your abdomen slightly, pull it in towards the spine, and press your chest towards your shins. Now relax your neck. You might shake and nod your head a few times. Make sure your head is just completely loose. Roll your outer upper arms towards the ground. Spread the shoulder blades apart and lift the shoulders further back. All right, let's start to find stillness as you steady your gaze or drishti, helping to steady your mind. Listen to another 3 cycles of breath here in Adho Mukha Svanasana. And though the body is externally still, you're lifting the hips further up and back. You're spreading the weight through your finger pads, not sitting the weight on the wrists. You're elongating up and down the spine that's diagonally oriented. Start to walk up to the top of your mat into a standing forward fold. Separate your feet at least hips width apart. Look down at your second toes and make a number 11 out of them. So parallel your feet. Bend your knees generously, so much that your belly can easily rest on your thighs. And with your hands, hold opposite bent elbows and start to sway the spine. Maybe shake the head no again a few times. Relax the head. Can you still hear that whispering sound of deep breaths? As the knees stay bent, shift your weight forward and reach the hands behind your lower back to clasp. Now, if it's easier, grab a strap and hold it between your hands. If it's possible, hug the heels of your palms together. With the knees still bent, engage the belly towards the back. And inhale, lift your chest and reach the crown of your head forward. Roll your shoulders behind you. Exhale, bow in, maybe a little deeper, and relax the neck. Flutter the lips a few times or stretch the mouth wide. And for a few more breaths, keep stretching the arms away from your lower back. Slightly bend your elbows and lift your shoulder bones away from your neck. Let your head hang as loose as possible here. Soften your tongue. Maybe flutter the lips to relax the jaw. Now lower your fingertips. Press your hands either on two blocks in front of your feet or your shins or the floor. And as you breathe in, stretch your spine forward, parallel to the ground. Engage the abdomen. Reach the chest forward, shoulders back. And then keep shifting your weight forward. Exhale, hinge from the hips and drop your head. Let's try that movement to breath. Inhale, press with the fingertips. Reach your chest through your upper arms. Lengthen the sides of your torso from hips to armpits. Exhale, forward fold. Again, inhale, press with the hands. Inhale, half forward fold, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Bend the knees a lot more. Release the arms, relax the neck. And as you breathe in, roll up really slowly, like you're stacking one vertebra at a time, lifting your head last and circling your shoulders back and down. Let's bring the palms in prayer at the heart center in mountain pose, Padasana. Reconnect to the feeling of your intention that you set for this practice. As we move to the breath, we're going to warm up through sun salutation C, 2 rounds here, breath-led movement. Can you bring the feeling of that intention into how you're moving your body? Preparing to offer gratitude to the sun salutation, Surya Namaskar C. Inhale, sweep the arms forward, roll your shoulders back and down, lifting the chest, look up. Exhale, hinge from your hips. You can bend the knees if that allows you ease to lengthen the spine as you bow. Plant your fingertips on the ground or blocks. Inhale, step the left knee behind you to a kneeling lunge and gaze up. Hold your breath while you step to plank pose. Then exhale, lower your knees, chest, then chin, hugging the elbows to your ribs. Inhale, slither forward onto the belly and draw your shoulder heads back. Keep hugging the elbows to the ribs, cobra pose. Exhale, tucking your toes from in the belly and press up to downward facing dog. Inhale, step your left foot beside your left thumb. Lower your right knee and gaze up. Exhale, step your right foot forward and bow. Press to your feet. Inhale, sweep the arms forward and rise all the way up. Roll the shoulders back and down, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, bring the palms in prayer from your crown to your heart center. One more time, second side. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, gaze up. We're saluting the sun here, offering gratitude. Exhale, hinge from the hips, Uttanasana, forward fold. Place the fingertips down. This time, inhale, step the right knee back. Kneeling lunge, look up. As you hold the breath, step into plank pose, top of a push-up. Exhale, lower knees, then chest, then chin, Ashtangasana. Inhale, slide forward, draw the shoulders back, root down through the tops of your feet in cobra pose. That rooting down helps to support the lower back. Exhale, lift the hips back to downward facing dog. Inhale, step your right foot beside your right thumb, lower your left knee and gaze up. Exhale, step your left foot forward and bow. Press to your feet. Inhale, root down to rise. Exhale, join your palms down your center line to your heart. Pause here. Tune in to a few deep breaths. What are you sensing? Is anything shifting at all since you arrived in this practice yet? Just observing. Can you feel the flow of your breath, the flow of your energy? All right, let's come on down to sit. Bring the legs out in front of you, sitting some sort of cross-legged. That works for you. Remember, you can elevate your pelvis on a folded blanket or pillow as needed. Let's loosen up the spine a bit more. So as you're sitting cross-legged, if you tend to cross one shin in front or on top of the other shin most of the time, then switch it up so you can balance out the openness of your hips. You might tend to notice that one hip is more open than the other, and that can be a playing factor in that. As you root your sitting bones down, press your hands on your lap, lift up from the bottom of the spine all the way up to the back of the skull. Chin is parallel to the floor. Keep the shoulders relaxed. And now keep elongating the spine and sway to one side. Feel the weight shift on the pelvis. Rock all the way forward and way to the other side. Rock all the way back and keep going to the breath now. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. And when you feel like switching directions, go ahead. Feel how the weight is shifting throughout the bottom of your pelvis. Trace your awareness up the torso to the middle of your spine, along the thoracic spine, like around your rib cage. Maybe switch up the circles a few more times, a few more breaths. Warming up the pelvic region and all throughout the spine, especially the lower back. All right, let's plant the left fingertips on the ground beside the left hip. Raise the right arm up and spin the tricep forward. Draw the shoulders down. Now, as you're sitting tall, seal the bottom of your front ribs in. Take a deep breath here. And then as you exhale, begin to side bend to your left. Pause on the in-breath from the right sitting bone towards the earth and stretch from the lower spine to the crown. And if there's room to continue to side bend as you exhale, taking like that breath by breath, exploring your range, keep relaxing the shoulders both away from the ears. Keep sealing in the bottom of your front ribs. Keep grounding through the right sitting bone as well as the left. 2 more breaths. Lateral extension of your spine. On your next inhale, rise all the way up. Now let's bend the elbows apart, sort of like a cactus shape, but keep elongating the spine tall, shoulders relaxed. Take a deep breath. And now without using any leverage, twist to your right. Keep the spine as vertical as possible. So you're not bending over to twist. Keep twisting. Inhale, pause, press the pelvis down. Imagine you're breathing up the spine. You might even close your eyes and visualize. Breathing up, creating more space between each vertebra, lifting through the back of the skull. Chin is still parallel to the floor. Shoulders are still relaxed. Keep twisting. So you're purely using those core muscles along the sides of your torso called your obliques. 1 more like this. Now go ahead and release the hands down. Right hand on the ground behind you. Left hand, maybe the back of the left hand reaches the outside of the right thigh. If not, you can place it on your lap. Keep breathing and pressing the pelvis down and lifting up through the center of your spine. Keep your spine vertical. Notice if you're trying to tilt over to deepen the twist. It's only an illusion of deepening the twist, right? This tilting over. So keep elongating the spine, relaxing the shoulders, and just find that transverse movement. 3 more deep breaths here. As you breathe out, can you feel your belly draw in towards your spine? See if that allows you a little more ability to twist. And remember where we're twisting here. We're aiming the twist for right underneath the rib cage, not the pelvis, not the lower back, but across your waistline. On your next exhale, let it go. Relax back to center. Let's plant the right fingertips on the ground beside the right hip. Raise the left arm. Spin your left tricep forward. Draw your shoulders down. Feel the weight of your pelvis equal on left and right. And then imagine breathing up the center of your spine. Keep the chin parallel to the floor. And then exhale, start to side bend to your right. On the next in-breath, stop where you are and ground the left sitting bone a little more and stretch the lower spine from the hips. As you exhale, if there's room to, continue to side bend, taking it like that breath by breath. Make sure there's still space along the sides of your neck. You haven't created an earring out of your shoulder like this. Feel that the bottom of your front ribs are sealing in towards the back of your body. Full breaths. Massaging the breath throughout the lungs. Especially along the left side of your lungs here in this posture. One more deep breath. On your inhalation, rise up. This time, let's reach the arms straight up for a moment. You can interlace the fingers except the index, or except the index. Root your sitting bones down, get a little bit taller. Lift up through the back of the skull, but press your shoulders down. Feel that you still have space in your neck. You can shake the head easily. Chin is parallel to the floor, but not jutting forward like this. Draw the chin towards the back of the throat. Seal the bottom front ribs in. Stretch a little bit more, breathe in. And now cactus, bend the elbows apart and twist to the left, just using your obliques. Pause as you inhale, press the 2 sitting bones down and lift up from the base of the spine through the back of the skull. Continue to twist as you exhale. And just feel the strength of your obliques here. We're not pushing into the twist with the arms yet. And then go ahead and release the left hand behind you, the right hand. Maybe the back of it is pressing outside the left thigh, whatever you can reach. Continue to breathe in and root down as you lift up through the center of your spine. Keep the chin parallel to the ground and slightly drawn in towards the back of the throat. Feel the alignment of your spine as you're twisting. Try to keep it as vertical, upright as possible. Focus on twisting right beneath your rib cage, keeping your pelvis still, your lower back stable. Where is your body asking you to breathe into in this posture? This posture can definitely stimulate the various digestive organs as well as the kidneys at the lowest back ribs. Last 2 breaths here. And as you exhale, release. So after twisting, adding a forward fold promotes even more of that release, digestion, flow, but even energetic release. Anything that you need to just kind of shed tension-wise. So let's actually come into Janu Shirshasana. So straighten your left leg in front of you. Turn out your right thigh and hug the sole of your right foot high against your inner left thigh. And you might like to use a strap holding it with both hands. So the strap is right beneath the ball of the foot like this. Either way, flex your left foot and press the big toe mound forward at the same time. You're flexing the left quadricep without locking the knee. Now, if you're not using a strap, you can frame your left leg with your fingertips on the ground. Start by rooting down again through both sitting bones and imagine breathing up the center of your spine. Broaden your collarbones. Feel your shoulder blades soften down the back ribs. Keep your neck long. And then turn your sternum, the middle of your chest, towards your left pinky toe and start to hinge from the hips in that direction, pausing on the next inhalation from down through both sitting bones. Continue to stretch both the front and back of your spine. And only if it doesn't cause compensation like rounding the shoulders and dropping the chin to close the throat, you can keep the shoulders back and the throat open, continue to fold. Maybe walking the hands further forward. Maybe holding on to your left foot or ankle with both hands, if not the strap. Continue to root down through the pelvis and lengthen the spine through the crown as you inhale. Draw the navel towards the spine as you exhale, extending your sternum forward. Where can you focus the loving attention of your breath within your body here? Where are you feeling this pose right now? You might meditate on bringing healing energy into that space in your body. Last 2 breaths. Now press the pelvis downward. Begin to lift your chest while firming in the belly. Inhale, slowly rise up and stretch both legs forward. Relax your feet. Maybe shake them out or roll your feet at the ankles, especially if you've been flexing it quite a bit. All right, keep your right leg straight in front of you and turn out your left thigh, bending the knee. Bring the sole of your left foot high against your inner right thigh for head to knee pose. Whether you're placing the strap around the ball of your right foot, holding it with 2 hands, or starting with your hands on the ground, framing your right leg, flex your right foot and press the big toe mound forward, contracting your right quadricep to support your right hamstring. Press your 2 sitting bones down and breathe up to the center of your spine using visualization. Collarbones wide, shoulder blades down, chin away from the chest naturally. Turn your sternum towards your right pinky toe, and as you exhale, begin to hinge from the hips in that direction, keeping a slight lift in your chest. Pause on your next inhalation, and from down to your sitting bones, stretch forward through your spine as you breathe in. Let the belly firm in towards the back to support it. Only continue to bow forward if you can do so while maintaining that relaxed, open space throughout your neck and chest. Filling up the lungs with the inhalation, you might focus more into the back ribs, into the kidneys, at the lowest back ribs, into the lower back, or where is your body asking for your attention here? Your hamstring, your calf. Listening to the whispering waves of your breath to bring your mind into an easeful steadiness. Last 2 deep breaths here. Now, press down through your pelvis. Begin to lift your chest, breathing in to slowly rise up. Let's bend both knees apart and bring the soles of your feet together. This posture, called bound angle pose, or in Sanskrit Baddha Konasana, is helpful for ladies if you're menstruating, you have menstrual cramps, or you just get a lot of lower back stiffness, or you need to release the hips. Really helps to bring more energy flow, open up that space. So you might hold on to your big toes, you might hold on to your outer feet, press your sitting bones down, and lengthen both the front and the back of your spine while pressing the shoulders down. Broaden your collarbones and seal the bottom of your front ribs in. Deep breath, feel the space through all the sides of your neck. Chin is slightly drawn towards the back of the throat. Now imagine there's a string pulling your sternum past the front edge of your mat. Begin to hinge forward from the hips a little bit each exhalation until just before you might tend to round the back. You might crawl the hands forward. You might pick up a block or a pillow to place your forehead on top. You're going to be here for 2 full minutes. So continue to consciously regulate your breath. Deep in breaths, slow exhalations. Sensing the loving relationship that you are cultivating with your body, with your breath as a language of communication. Remember, in these asanas, these yoga poses, we are also practicing dharana, steadying our attention, being present in our bodies. Couple more deep breaths here. Crawl your fingertips towards you on the ground and begin to lead with the chest. Inhale to slowly rise. Stretch the legs once again in front of you. Maybe shake them out or circle out your feet. Swing your legs to one side and let's come all the way down to our bellies. Coming down to Sphinx pose. Stretch the legs straight behind you, point the toes back, and place your elbows on the ground directly under your shoulders while lifting your chest. Broaden your chest. Press the shoulder blades down the back. Slide your knees as close together as you comfortably can. And as we stay a few breaths in Sphinx pose, can you actively stretch your toes and inner heels towards the back wall, with the effect of lengthening your lower spine, like your tailbone is magnetized towards your inner heels, while at the same time keep your forearms and palms still, but energetically drag them back towards your hips, blossoming your chest wide open as you look on the floor, just slightly ahead of your thumbs. So we're not cranking the neck by tilting the chin towards the sky here. Lengthen the back of your neck and feel the natural space at the front of your neck, at your throat. Can you breathe in and spread your collarbones from your sternum to your shoulder heads? Can you breathe out and relax the jaw, relax the eyes? Inhale and stretch the tailbone towards the inner knees. Stretch the toes back. Feel every toenail grounded on the floor. Feel that your two frontal hip bones are resting on the earth. Use that as reference as we enter the next variation of the pose. Let's get into the front of the shoulders a bit, as well as open up the front of the thighs. So cross your left forearm on the ground in front of your chest. Keep your chest facing forward and bend your right knee. Backstroke your right arm. Hold the inner side of your right ankle or foot, not the pinky toe side, the big toe side, so that you're opening the front of your right shoulder. Now you can adjust your left forearm here so that it's supporting you enough so that you're able to keep your chest facing forward. How's the breath? Gently bring your right heel slightly towards the outside of your right hip. Feel that you're still grounding both of your frontal hip bones. And to protect your lower back here from strain, keep your knees no wider apart than your hips distance. Let's tune in for a few more breaths. And release your right leg straight. Come back to forearms on the floor in front of you, Sphinx pose. Slide your knees close together and actively stretch your tailbone towards your inner knees while broadening your chest and relaxing your shoulder bones down. Let's take 2 lion's breaths. So anything that you might feel is stagnant or heavy within you that you could release right now, whether thoughts or physical junk or mental stress or emotional tension, gather that in as you inhale through the nose and imagine you are a dragon. So fire through the mouth, stick out the tongue, open the mouth wide, open the eyes wide, let out any releasing sound. One more time. Full inhalation. Fill up your whole body like you're sweeping the debris of tension all into one place. And then let it go. All right, close the lips, smoothen the breath in and out through the nose. Ujjayi. Cross the right forearm on the floor in front of your chest. Keep your chest facing forward, bend the left knee. Backstroke your left arm, catch the big toe, not the pinky toe, side of your left ankle or foot. Have your knees no wider apart than your hips distance. Ground both of your frontal hip bones. And feel free to adjust your right forearm so that you're able to expand the chest forward. Tune into the breath as you're bringing left heel gently and slightly to the outside of your left hip. What do you notice about this side of your shoulders? This side of your quadriceps and hip flexors, the fronts of the thigh, the fronts of the hip. Noticing without judging. Letting go of the labeling like, this is my bad shoulder, this is my good shoulder, right? Your body is always communicating to you when it's sick, when it's healthy. It's simply communicating to you, even through pain and discomfort. It's letting you know that it needs something. Couple more deep breaths. Gently release and take your block, place it on the right side of your skull. Let's get a little deeper into the shoulders. Slide your right arm wide to the right so the palm is face down on the floor in line with your right shoulder. Place your left hand on the floor beside your left shoulder and turn your face to your left wall. As you press the ground away with the left hand, begin to slowly and gently roll over towards your right hip, resting the right side of your head onto the block. Slide your right shoulder blade down your back ribs and notice how far back your inner right shoulder wants you to lean. If it's really tight, you probably won't step the left foot behind you on the ground. If it feels pretty open, you might do that. You might wrap the left arm behind you as well. You might bend the right knee and step the right foot on the ground as well. And just notice how you are responding to the way your body is communicating through every sensation. Where could you breathe into? Where could you relax a little more as you breathe out? One more deep breath here. And with your exhalation, gently melt onto your belly again. Pause there for a moment. You might crisscross your forearms under your forehead and just take a moment to observe your body coming out of that pose. What sensations are happening? What does your breath feel like right now? Take your time placing the block on the left side of your skull. Slide your left arm wide to the left, palm face down on the floor. Place the right hand beside your right shoulder and look at your right wall. Start to roll over towards your left outer hip, placing the left side of your head on the block. Slide the left shoulder blade further down your back. And notice if the side needs something a little different or a lot different. You might step the right foot behind you. That might not be appropriate. Other options might be to wrap the right arm behind you or to also step the left foot. Notice when the ego steps in the yoga practice, telling you what you should or shouldn't be doing and putting its expectations, like there's a particular goal in a pose. Really, it's just to be present, to find that union of breath, body, and mind. Shedding the layers of mental conditioning, and really opening up to who we are inside, a deeper awareness of our true nature. The body holds the truth of what's going on in our minds, how we contract, how we hold on to things, or how we let go and let flow. What is your body revealing to you through this practice today? Without any need to self-judge, but just to be aware with honesty. Coming from love, one more deep breath. Take your time rolling onto your belly once again. I'm actually going to invite you to slide into child's pose this time. So take your time getting there. Bring your feet together so your big toes touch. As you bend the knees, you can keep them together or splay them apart as wide as it's comfortable. Sink your pelvis all the way back to your heels. Now you could rest your forehead on the ground, on your forearms, on a pillow, on a block. Take the child's pose that feels most comforting to you. You could stretch the arms forward. You can rest the arms down by your legs. You can turn the head to one side. You're going to be here for a couple of minutes, staying aware of what's arising in your physical sensations, in the quality of your breath as you're regulating it, in your mind, energy and emotions. Start to press your hands into the ground. Take your time as you breathe in. Slowly tuck the chin to the chest and roll all the way up to sit. Please find a comfortable seat for one more pranayama before we rest in corpse pose. Sitting tall where you can breathe most easily, I invite you into the practice of Nodi Shodhana Pranayama, alternate nostril breathing. We've been practicing this in different ways, different breath holds and flows. For this one, I'll invite you to breathe in or breathe out for 6 counts, and to hold the breath in or hold the breath out for 2 counts. It's a more cooling breathing technique. It also helps to balance the left and right hemispheres of the brain, as well as connect to Ajna chakra, your intuitive energy center. And to promote that, you can place the left hand in Gyan Mudra, which is thumb and index finger touching, palm face up, resting on the lap. You might also close your eyes and bring your inner gaze towards the center of your brain, just steadying your attention there visually when we practice. So the right hand is in Vishnu Mudra, in which you stick out your right thumb, pinky, and ring fingers. We'll be breathing with the lips closed very softly and sustained, so no longer creating that whispering sound, very gentle. We'll close the right thumb onto the right nostril like this, and we'll close the left nostril with the right ring and pinky fingers like this. Alternate nostril breathing. Let's practice 3 cycles together and 3 cycles on your own before we let go of controlling the breath. So prepare to begin by inhaling fully through the nose. Open the mouth, clear it out. Close the mouth, cover the right nostril with the right thumb. Inhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath 2, 1. Close the left. Exhale right 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Stay here. Inhale right 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Close right. Exhale left 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Second cycle. Inhale left 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Close left. Exhale right 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Inhale right 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Close right. Exhale left 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Third cycle. Inhale left for 6. Hold 2. Close left. Exhale right 6. Hold 2. Inhale right 6. Hold 2. Close right. Exhale left 6. Hold 2. Keep going 3 more cycles on your own. When you have finished, sit for a few moments, breathing naturally and observing how you feel. And as you feel ready, be gentle as you transition down to corpse pose. Find a comfortable way to lie down for a few minutes of Shavasana. You might roll the shoulders back and down once you're on the ground and turn the palms to face up to help open the chest. You might elevate the backs of your knees on a pillow that's crossing your mat. You might place a weighted blanket that's folded on top of your pelvis and your belly to help feel grounding. Then close your eyes, let the breath be natural and free as your awareness expands deeper inward. When we are undistracted and completely resting, this is our true nature. That's both simple and profound. Here we arrive at a very subtle state of awareness that is spacious and all inclusive. From there, we can really see who we are. At the level of experience, the result of calm is clarity. When the mind feels deeply, due to the preparation that meditation practice provides, we come to profound clarity, our enlightened nature. When we are distracted or interrupted, it is hard to see or feel this. With gentleness and relaxation, the mind is given freedom to reach its natural states. Let's come into that practice. Take your time here to notice how your physical body is feeling now. We've just spent an hour bringing calmness to our being. So let's continue to cultivate that calmness by not lifting our bodies up too quickly. Let's take our time in the transition. Start to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, maybe gently move your head. Stretch the arms, stretch the legs. And then start to turn over onto your right side and pause there as you rest your head for a few moments. Paying attention to the natural flow of your breath and sensing your energy, noticing the effects of your asana practice. Continue to transition slowly and mindfully as you begin to press the ground and lift your body up, placing it in a comfortable position to meditate in for 5 minutes. I'll invite you into the practice called calm abiding, which is not very different from our usual practice. And this is where you first of all make sure that you're sitting in a way that's comfortable and tall. Shoulders are relaxed, heart space is open, and you might close the eyes. You might place the hands in Gyan Mudra or stack the right palm face up on top of the left palm, thumbs touching. Let the breath flow in a natural way. Decide what helps you to be present. What object of focus do you choose to rest your awareness on for these 5 minutes? It might be the feeling of your breath coming and going. It might be the sound of the rain, if it seems pretty consistent in your background. It might be another sensation in your body, like the weight of your pelvis on the seat. Having chosen your object of focus, let your focus be really relaxed. You're not forcing your attention on something, but instead, you're letting go of having to be distracted, reaching for thoughts and following them somewhere else. You're resting your awareness here in the present on your chosen object of focus. If you've become distracted by something, just notice that. And once you notice, there's your opportunity to let go and relax back into your object of focus. Sort of like you're coming home again, coming home to yourself. Sense the quality of your focus now. The mind doesn't do too well when we're forcing it harshly to meditate. It only creates more disturbance in the mind. So it's really a practice of relaxing into focus, relaxing because we're inspired to, not forced to. As we bring closure to the practice, feel into your heart mind. Notice what's present there now. Let's take a moment of gratitude, acknowledging anything, anyone. Remind yourself what your intention is for this practice, that you may continue to open yourself up to that outside of this practice. Acknowledge to whom or what you dedicated your efforts to today. May our practice not only serve our well-being, but the well-being of all beings around us. As we awaken, open our minds, come into our true nature, that is the energy that expands in the universe. Let's close chanting Om 3 times. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.